What's up, guys? Welcome to the Being Beautifully Honest channel and podcast. If you are on the podcast platforms listening to this, please go ahead and subscribe to this podcast. And if you are on YouTube, I would appreciate you hitting that subscribe button as well as that like button while you're at it. It's like walking into the room and hitting that light switch. Let's just go ahead and brighten up the place. And let's get into this podversation/reality chat. Real Housewives of Potomac this season, which is season 7, has been pretty much on fire. And we all know that without the drama, these shows are basically nothing at all. And it's kind of sad because I wanted to talk about Wendy Acephal. She is the 4-degree holding Dr. Wendy. When she said, "People like you call me Dr. Wendy" to Ashley in her first season of Real Housewives of Potomac, which was 2 seasons ago because this is now her 3rd season. I know a lot of people really didn't care for her, and there are some people who still don't really care for her. I could understand that she could be seen as a bit abrasive or maybe a bit braggadocious, all about her education and her degrees and whatnot. But for those of you who are familiar with immigrants, especially from countries in the continent of Africa, you hear a lot about, especially, I don't even want to say especially, but a lot of Nigerians who come to the States. They are really big on education, and I think that's a great thing. They're really big on making sure that they're making the most and the best of the opportunity that they have in coming to the States, and kudos to them, hats off to them. I'm not Nigerian. I don't know what it is like to be a Nigerian, but I do remember the first season that Wendy was on the show. She was speaking to her mom, and she was telling her mom that she really wanted to do some different things because she is a professor, and her mom was not in support of her doing anything different than what she was currently doing because her mom is proud of what she is doing now. It's a badge of honor for her mom, and I think for most parents who are from that country, for their children to become successful and to have something to brag about to their family back home and to friends, or even to the foes, the people that they don't really care for, the people who aren't really their friends, and they can say, well, at least my son is a doctor, or my daughter is a lawyer, or, you know, whatever they're bragging on. And that is something for her mom to brag about. So when Wendy started branching off into doing or trying other business ventures, things that she could say, I'm proud of it. I want to enjoy the work that I do. I am a mother. I am a wife. I have been doing the political commentating work on different platforms, different networks, and I'm also a professor. I am grateful for those things, but this is not what I see myself doing for the rest of my life. And I want to be happy in the work that I do. And I get it. I have done that. I transitioned from the legal field of over 12 years to go into the wellness and beauty industry. So for me, I get it. But it's kind of sad to see Wendy on this show because, look, I, in a way, understand why she wanted to be a part of the show. It's something that is in her neck of the woods. It's very popular. She already has been doing things on television, so she's not new to TV. But I would say new to the drama and having to be in the midst of women that don't really like you. You may not really like them. You have to go on trips together with people that you don't really care for. You have to go out to lunches and dinners to discuss situations that you kind of feel like, this is really ridiculous. Why am I doing this? And now seeing the last episode and this episode where they showed some footage, not aired or filmed by the Bravo cameras, but via cast members' cell phones, where Wendy and some of the ladies, they were at the club, they were having fun, they had definitely a lot of drinks in their system, and she was hugging Robyn and apologizing to Robyn and saying that she misses her friendship and yada yada. And I'm not even going to lie, it made me feel uncomfortable seeing that, even with her being not sober, because it definitely is true what they say, that a drunk mind or a drunk spirit speaks the truth in a lot of situations. And in my opinion, I really do feel bad for Wendy, because I feel that she has some need for acceptance from like the cool girl crowd or the it girls or the pretty girls. And look, I'm not saying that Robyn and Gizelle are cool. I'm not saying that they are the it girls, but we know, even if we don't like it, on the Real Housewives of Potomac, Gizelle has been propped up and Robyn is her sidekick. And until we see different, they're going to be forever entangled and entwined with each other. I mean, they have the Reasonably Shady podcast that they're doing together all the time. I don't understand why Wendy can't see, with all of her degrees, with all of her experience, with all of her professionalism in doing the political commentating work and all of the other things that she's done. She judges people's work, she grades school papers, she does all of the things that she does as a professor. Why she can't see that Robyn is not her friend. Gizelle will never be her friend. But I do feel that, as much as people may want to say that Wendy was being fake, I don't think she was being fake. I believe she genuinely is like the bigger person. You kind of have to be of the caliber that she is, with all of the education and the experience that she has. I mean, you look at Robyn and you look at Gizelle, what do they have going for themselves? They have this podcast now. Okay, that's fine. But would it have happened had it not been for them being on the Real Housewives of Potomac? The Real Housewives of Potomac did not make Wendy. The Real Housewives of Potomac made Gizelle and Robyn. Period. And there's a whole list of other people that we could go down on other franchises of the Real Housewives where the show made them, not they were already made, and the show just enhanced who they were or gave them more exposure and the opportunity to expand their portfolios and make more money by lengthening their resume and giving them the opportunity to create other streams of revenue or income for themselves. Definitely has happened. But when I see Wendy and how she has interacted with these ladies over the past several seasons and even up until this most recent episode, I do believe that Wendy is seeking acceptance, and it kind of makes me feel like I'm no psychologist, definitely not a therapist in any way, shape, or form. I could be wrong, but just based on what I see and what I have seen of Wendy on these past seasons, I feel like there's this little girl in Wendy. Like, if you can think of, you hear a lot about the colorism situation, and I do believe that that is a factor on this show. I can remember being in school, and I can remember where it seemed like the group of those who had the lighter skin tones seemed to be more popular or more propped up. So those who had the darker skin tones, they had this desire in some way where they were trying to be accepted by that lighter skin crowd. And I hope that makes sense. If it doesn't, please forgive me. I'm not trying to make this into a School Days, Spike Lee School Days movie thing where it's like, you know, the dark skinned girls versus the light skinned girls. But that movie spoke a lot of truth. And in my opinion, I feel that Wendy has been trying to be a part of that lighter skin, cool girl crowd. I'm not saying that it's to the point where Wendy wants to lighten her skin or bleach her skin. I'm not saying that, but she's wanted to be in that crowd. And I love to see the connection that she and Candace has. I really want to see more of that. and less of her trying to get Robyn to accept her apology, because Robyn doesn't see anything that she has done wrong. And I'm not even going to lie, I do believe that Robyn's feelings got hurt when Wendy said you don't even have a real relationship to speak about, when she said that last season. I get it, but did she lie? I mean, hey, look, the the people saying that Juan is Robyn's roommate, it looks that way. It looks that way. He proposed to her several seasons ago, and nothing has transpired since then in regards to them getting remarried. And now she's trying to get this prenup situation going on. And now we kind of get it as to maybe why this was something she was really pressing upon and held off on the marriage, because when the news came out about how Juan has been named in a lawsuit where he did not protect a student athlete that he was coaching, and some very devious things were happening in that situation, I mean, it makes you wonder about that. But I'm not really speaking about that in this conversation. I really just see Wendy having this need to be accepted by the lighter skinned girls, or the quote unquote cool it girls. Because even on the first episode of this most recent or newest season, when Wendy walked up to Gizelle to greet her, I do believe that it was genuine on Wendy's part. I really do. Because I just believe that Wendy's one of those people that she feels like, you know what, that happened a while ago. That's water under the bridge. I just want to move forward. And we all know Gizelle is not like that. Now, many people would feel, and I understand that too, that when Wendy walked up to Gizelle to greet her and, tried to give her a hug, that came across as fake. I don't believe Wendy was being fake, though. I just believe that Wendy genuinely is like that I'm the bigger person sort of thing. And also, she does have this desire to be accepted by Gizelle and Robyn, because it's that darker skin tone, lighter skin tone thing, even though she is a grown woman and she is married to a man that genuinely loves her. They have a beautiful family. She is a beautiful woman. Wendy really is a beautiful woman. And I'm not going to say she's beautiful for her skin color. She's just a beautiful woman flat out. I really do believe she's a beautiful woman. Before even she had the nips and the tucks that she had, I thought she was pretty in the first season. I heard a lot of people bragging on her looks, but when I saw her dropping it like it was hot last season, I felt like she was trying to be accepted. And now seeing her apologizing to Robyn for the second time, mind you, at Candace's backyard party, and she was speaking to Robyn and she apologized again. She said, I know the last time we had some drinks in our system, so I may have been speaking from a drunk state, but I am very much sober right now, and I am apologizing to you. I do believe that it was genuine, but people like Robyn and Gizelle, you cannot be genuine with them. I'm not saying be fake with them, but just don't even bother giving them that energy, because they're really not worth it. That reasonably shady name for their podcast, they're not reasonable. They're just shady 100% across the board. And I just don't like them. Whenever I see Gizelle, even more so now, I think back on when she was the first lady of the church that she and Pastor Jamal Bryant had back in the day. And we know they're divorced and all of that other stuff now. But I would assume that Gizelle was one of those people that was not approachable, wasn't nice. She was, feeling like she's above everyone else, and especially the women. And how ironic, I believe that the women that Jamal Bryant cheated on her with, or decided to have, I don't even want to say relationships, but move on from her with, were on the opposite end of the spectrum when it comes to the darker skin tones. So I'm saying all of this right now just to say it is very uncomfortable to see Wendy in this space where it seems like she is trying to get acceptance from these women when they do not deserve to even affiliate themselves with anyone like Wendy, and she should want to not want to have anything to do with them either. It's like, look, we're co-workers and that's it. It's really sad to see it, because I believe that if she were to seek some therapy, not a knock, but just being honest, I believe that all of us can benefit from therapy. I get it. I am an advocate for therapy and I do participate. But I believe that if she had some therapy and she was able to discuss these situations, that would probably come up and there would be some revelations for her from going back from when she was a child or just younger. Not saying it had to be when she was in elementary school, but I'm just saying because now she is a whole adult with multiple children in a marriage to another grown man. So I just believe that if she were to seek therapy and just discuss these situations, it would pull some things up that she didn't even realize that she was still holding on to and lingering, on, because as adults, there are a lot of decisions that we make as adults that because of some things that we went through when we were children that we were not fully healed from, and that inner child is just like screaming and shouting, you may make some wrong decisions and some wrong turns. And for me, even though I get it with Wendy being the bigger person, because I've been there before when it comes to situations where it's like you're not wrong, but you're apologizing just for the sake of peace. And I believe that that's what Wendy's doing. But on a show like this, I just don't think this is a place for Wendy. I don't want to see her get fired. I like her. I like her being on the show overall. But in situations like this, when I see things like this, it makes me uncomfortable. I don't want to see her lose anything over the desire to be accepted and to feel like she is a part and to want to be on the show. But the fame is a really hefty drug that a lot of people get addicted to. And once they get on these platforms, it's hard for them to back out of it. It's hard for them to step away and walk away. And they just want to keep coming back. But it's like, at what price? So I would really love to know what you guys think about this. So you let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Do you feel that a lot of the actions that Wendy has taken so far on the show when it comes to Robyn and Gizelle is because of that desire to feel accepted, to be accepted, and going back to the skin tone situation where the darker skin tone wants to be around or to be seen with the lighter skin tones because it makes them feel a little bit better about themselves and feel like I'm an it girl too. All right, guys, let me know your thoughts. Thank you so much for liking and subscribing. And until the next time, this is Beth. And as always, I'm just being beautifully honest.